Hi, this is Analytics, and welcome to another lesson. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Let's get started. In the last video, we discussed about iteration, very important concept in Power Query and Power BI. In this video, we are going to learn about aggregation or summarization, which is also another crucial concept if you want to develop your skills in Power Query and Power BI, especially when you start working with DAX functions. And in the next video, we're going to discuss grouping. So we are going to use the same study material we used in the last lesson, and I'll leave a card here on top so you can refer to that lesson and to the material we are using. In this example, we are using Power Query in Power BI, but you could also use Power Query in Excel. I am going to select one of the numeric columns. We converted these columns into numeric columns in the last lesson, so please refer to it. And let me pick one of them. I'm going to choose sales amount. Well, sales amount has over, some of the values here have over 2 decimal places. Let me just pick one that's more conventional. So, okay, let's work with unit cost. And I'm going to use this column, unit cost. And we learned in the last lesson that iteration takes place when you run some form of calculation or evaluation that is done horizontally, and the calculation or evaluation has to be repeated for each single row in your table, which means if you have a table with 5 million rows, your calculation or evaluation has to be repeated for each of the 5 million rows, and that could slow down your data model. So we are going to discuss aggregation, and aggregation is somewhat the opposite of iteration, because in aggregation, we are not running calculations horizontally. In aggregation, we are taking a column and we are running some form of calculation or evaluation throughout every row in that column. And you could think, okay, but if you're working with row by row, if you're using all the values in each row of the column, isn't that the same thing as in iteration? Because in iteration, like I said, we are running the same calculation in each row of my table. So in aggregation, if I'm aggregating and I'm running some kind of evaluation or mathematical operation through all the values in a column, am I not using each value in each row? So is this not the same thing as in iteration? And the answer is no, it's not, because when you're working with iteration, the same calculation has to be repeated row by row. In aggregation, you're doing a vertical calculation, and this calculation, it runs only once. So it doesn't matter if you have 10 values in your column. I'm using this unit cost as an example. So if unit cost has only 10 values in 10 rows, or 1,000 values, or 100 million values, it doesn't matter, because it's only one single operation, which means if I want, for example, to sum up all the values in this column, it doesn't matter how many values are there. There is only one operation, one mathematical calculation to be done, which is the sum of all these values. If I have many values or just a few values, it doesn't matter, because for aggregation, to differentiate aggregation from iteration, you have to focus on the number of times your calculation has to be performed. In iteration, like we did in the last video, we had to multiply sales quantity multiplied by unit price, and I had the result in another new column that we created in the last video. So the same multiplication was performed in this first column, then again in the second column, and the third column. So the same multiplication was done in each row of our table. But if I want to sum up all the values in this column, although there may be many values, one in each row, but I'm only doing one single sum. This is what differentiates aggregation from iteration. In aggregation or summarization, you have a vertical calculation or evaluation that is performed only once. And another very important characteristic of aggregation is that the result of aggregation is just one single value and not another column with additional values. So what we did in the last lesson, we did this. We used the sales quantity and multiplied by the unit price to calculate the sales price. So let's do it again real quick, just to remember and to focus on the difference between aggregation and iteration. So I'm again going to add a new column, a custom column. I'm doing it very quickly because we did it in the last video, and I'm going to call it sales total. And I just picked the unit sales quantity multiplied by the unit price. Okay, and I'm going to mark it as decimal number and bring it here. So right here. So look, we created a new column, and the calculation we did here was based on iteration, because I have this value in this row multiplied by this. This is the result. This times this result. This times this result, and the same calculation in each row of the table. And the result of my iteration is a new column, and my initial table had a number of rows, multiple rows, and the result of my iteration, which is a new column, has the same number of rows as my initial table. So the result of iteration is going to be a new column, and multiple values there are the result of the calculation being conducted in each of the rows of the table. But when I'm working with aggregation, I'm not returning another column. I'm doing a vertical operation, and the result is going to be a single value that we also call a scalar value. So when you hear or read about a scalar value, it means a single value and not a column with multiple values. Okay, so remember, the result of iteration in Power Query and Power BI is probably going to be a new column with one new value for each row of the table, and your new column will have as many rows as the initial table. But when we work with aggregation, you will get only one single or scalar value. And that's an opportunity we have to start learning in Power Query how to run aggregations and how to return scalar values based on these aggregations. And to aggregate values in Power Query and Power BI, it's very easy. All I'm going to do is select the column that I want to aggregate or summarize, and I was using unit cost. I'm clicking transform, and then this button here, statistics. I don't really like this name, statistics, because it sounds more like you're running some statistical test. But actually, this choice, let me click the down arrow. This choice will only give you ways to summarize your data. So in my opinion, it would make more sense to have another, to call it summarizing or aggregating or aggregation or something like that instead of statistics, but it's okay. So here we have different operations we can run to get a scalar value, or I mean, we have different operations to run our aggregation. Aggregations, like I said, will return you a single value, but the aggregation could use different operations. So let's check it out. If I want, for example, my aggregation will be based on a sum. So I'm going to sum all the values in this column. I just have to click sum. And look, instead of a new table or a new column, I only got a new number. It's a single number, a scalar value that is the result of my aggregation. Let me delete the last step. And again, I'm going to run now another aggregation, unit price, and transform statistics. And now I don't want the sum. I want the average of all values in this column, which means my aggregation now is based on an average. It's calculating the average of my entire column. And again, it's going to give me a single value or a scalar value. And again, I can do the same with other unit costs, with other operations. It could give me the median of the column, or the standard deviation, or the minimum value, or the maximum value. And if I click, for example, maximum, it's going to return me the maximum value in the column, which is 99.14. But just a last detail that I wanted to notice is that we have been using numeric columns to run aggregation based on mathematical operations, because of course, if you want to know the sum of the values in a column, it has to be a numeric. It doesn't make sense to run a sum in a text column. The same with the minimum value, maximum, median, average, or standard deviation. So these are all operations that only make sense when you're working on a column that is a numeric column. But what if you're working with a text column? Let's try selecting the store name. We have, let me see the stores that I have here. I have America Online Store, Asia Online Store, and Europe Online Store. We have 3 stores in this column. They are, of course, if you look at the little icon here, it shows that this is a text column. And of course, I can't run sums or averages with text, only with numbers. I will show you that I I'm already in the transform tab. So if I try to use the statistics button right here, you will see that it's no longer available. If I click a numeric column like sales quantity, it's going to be available. When I click a text column, it's no longer available because it doesn't make sense. Let me now select again a numeric column, and I can also use the count values. The count values will count the number of rows in my column. If I click count values, it will return me the 5,000 rows that I have in this table. It is really a table with 5,000 rows, but it will count rows even if the values in the rows are repeated. But if I don't want to count the repeated values, I'm going to use count distinct values, and it's going to return me only the 9 distinct values. And yes, I prepared this table so I know that the sales quantity column really has only 9 different values, which are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it really returned me the right number of distinct values in this column. What if we want to count the number of rows using a text column? I click the text column, and now in transform, the statistics button is not available to me. But there is another way to do it using grouping, and that is the topic for our next lesson. And I hope I was able to make clear the difference between iteration and aggregation, because these two concepts, along with the next one, grouping, they are crucial so you can work properly with data, not only in Power BI, in Power Query, in Excel, but in any programming language or data analysis tool. These are concepts that, if well understood, they could be a game changer, especially when you are working with DAX functions, because understanding these interactions between these concepts, and of course, you can have calculations and functions working with iterations and aggregations at the same time. And many of the DAX functions actually are shaped so you can work with iteration and aggregation at the same time. Knowing these concepts will open your mind to a world of possibilities working with DAX functions and creating efficient data models and excellent dashboards. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel. This is going to help us a lot to reach more people and share this content, this knowledge with more people. Share it with your friends. Leave a comment below. It helps us get more relevance and reach more people, and see you in the next video.